Have you ever thought about how a single moment could change your entire life forever? This is a story about such a moment and a woman who refused to let it define her. Our story begins at a time when joy should have been the order of the day. A woman, pregnant with her second child, was eagerly tracing the growing life within her, full of dreams and hopes for the future. Yet, she was also wrestling with a darkness that cast long shadows over her happiness. Her husband, her companion and partner in life, had been diagnosed with cancer, a word that echoed ominously in their lives, threatening to shatter everything they held dear. With each doctor's visit, each round of treatment, the stark reality of their situation bore down on them. The vibrant spirit of the man she loved was steadily dimming under the relentless assault of the disease. His once radiant presence was gradually becoming a hollow shell of who he used to be. In the face of this, she stood by his side, holding his hand through long, pain-filled nights. The world she knew seemed to crumble beneath her feet. The joy of her pregnancy was overshadowed by the fear of losing her husband. The anticipation of new life was marred by the merciless progression of the disease that was claiming the life of her partner. This was a time of intense emotional turmoil for her. On one hand, she was nurturing a new life within her, a symbol of their love and commitment. On the other, she was grappling with the impending loss of her husband, the man she had planned to share her life with. It was a bitter paradox that she was living each day. But as her world was falling apart, life was preparing her for a challenge even greater than she could imagine. The trials she was going through were just the beginning of a journey that would test her strength, resilience, and determination in unimaginable ways. As her world was falling apart, she was about to face an even bigger challenge. The loss of a loved one can be an unbearable burden, especially when you're about to bring a new life into the world. The woman's world was shattered. The man she had chosen to share her life with, to build a future and raise children with, was no longer there. His laughter no longer echoed through their home. His warmth no longer enveloped her in moments of need. His absence was like a gaping wound, a void that seemed impossible to fill. She was not only a mother-to-be, but also a widow. The joy of expecting a new life was marred by the harsh reality of losing her partner. The contrast was stark, like a beautiful painting tarnished by a cruel stroke of black. Every corner of their house whispered his name. Every familiar scent brought painful reminders of what had been lost. His side of the bed was cold, his closet full of clothes he would never wear again. The silence in their home was deafening, a constant reminder of the void left by his absence. Her heart ached with an intensity she had never known. She felt as though she was drowning in a sea of sorrow, with no land in sight. Her world, once filled with shared dreams and plans, was now a barren landscape of loss and despair. Every day, she woke up to the reality of her situation. She was alone, alone in her grief, alone in her fear, alone in her struggle. It was a reality she had not chosen, a reality she had not prepared for. Her husband's death had left her with an unbearable loss. It was a loss that echoed through the empty halls of their home, a loss that weighed heavily on her heart. But it was more than just the loss of her husband. It was the loss of a life they had planned together, a future they were supposed to share. In the face of this unbearable loss, she was left with an impossible task. She was now a single mother, tasked with raising their children alone. But she was not just raising them. She was also carrying the weight of their lost dreams, their unfinished plans, their shattered future. In the face of this unbearable loss, she was left with an impossible task. Suddenly, she found herself alone, afraid, and with 2 children to care for. The struggle was just beginning. Her world had become a whirlpool of uncertainty. The reality of single motherhood loomed large, casting a long, daunting shadow. Her heart was heavy with the weight of sorrow and apprehension. The future was a terrifying unknown, filled with questions that echoed in the silence of the night. How would she provide for her children? How would she manage to keep a roof over their heads and food on the table? The financial instability that followed her husband's death was a cruel blow. With every bill that arrived, every expense that needed covering, the knot in her stomach tightened. The security they once had was replaced by an abyss of anxiety. The comfort of their old life was now just a distant memory, replaced by the cold, hard reality of their new circumstances. Her days were filled with a relentless cycle of responsibilities. From dawn till dusk, she juggled tasks, making sure her children were fed, clothed, and cared for. Nights were filled with a deafening silence, the echoes of her children's laughter replaced by the ticking of the clock. The exhaustion was all-consuming, but sleep was often elusive, chased away by worries and what-ifs. She felt the loneliness keenly. The absence of her partner was a gaping void that seemed impossible to fill. The shared laughter, the whispered conversations at night, the comforting presence, all gone. She missed his support, his strength, his love. But above all, she missed the shared responsibility of raising their children. Yet amidst the fear and uncertainty, a flame of hope flickered stubbornly within her. The love she held for her children was a beacon, guiding her through the darkest moments. It was this love that fueled her determination, that refused to let her succumb to despair. She knew she had to be strong for them. On the brink of despair, a spark of resolve began to ignite within her. In the depths of her despair, a resolve was born. She would not let her circumstances define her or her children's future. In the face of such adversity, it would be easy to crumble, to let the weight of the world crush your spirit. But she refused to let that be her story. She chose to rise from the ashes of her shattered life, fueled by a fierce determination to create a better future for her children. There's a unique kind of strength that comes from a mother's love. It's unfaltering, unwavering, and knows no bounds. It's a force that can move mountains and overcome any obstacle. And that's precisely what she had within her. A strength born from a love so profound, it could withstand the harshest storms life could throw at it. She knew the road ahead was steep and fraught with challenges, but she also knew that she had to traverse it, not just for herself, but for her children. They were her beacon of hope, her motivation, her reason to keep pushing forward. She vowed to give them a life filled with love and laughter, a life where they could thrive and reach their fullest potential. Navigating the unknown is never easy, but it is often in the face of adversity that we discover our true strength. The journey of single motherhood is a testament to this truth. It is a path fraught with challenges, a terrain filled with obstacles that demand courage, resilience, and a depth of strength that often lies dormant until tested. Our protagonist was no exception. She found herself in the unenviable position of having to raise her children single-handedly, all while grappling with the immense loss of her husband. The financial pressure, the loneliness, the sheer weight of responsibility, it all threatened to engulf her. But she didn't let it. Instead, she fought back, channeling her fear and grief into a fierce determination to provide for her children. She weathered the sleepless nights, the endless tears, the moments of doubt and despair. She stumbled, yes, but she always found a way to pick herself up and continue forward. She learned to lean on others for support, to accept help when offered. She discovered the power of community, of shared experiences and mutual aid. She found comfort in knowing she wasn't alone, that there were others who understood her struggle, others who could offer a helping hand or a kind word when she needed it most. And through it all, she never lost sight of the love that bound her to her children. It was this love that fueled her resolve, that gave her the strength to face each new day, each new challenge. It was this love that transformed her from a grieving widow into a beacon of hope and resilience, a testament to the indomitable spirit of motherhood. Her journey wasn't easy, nor was it without its share of heartache. But with each step she took, she grew stronger, more resilient. She learned to navigate the unknown with grace and determination, proving to herself and to the world that she could withstand the storm and emerge on the other side, stronger and more resilient than ever before. Despite the immense challenges she faced, she persevered, proving that a mother's love knows no bounds. Often, it is not the challenges that define us, but how we respond to them. This statement rings true for the woman we've been talking about, a beacon of resilience and strength in the face of unimaginable adversity. Her journey was not an easy one, fraught with pain, loss, and uncertainty. But she faced these challenges head-on, refusing to allow her circumstances to dictate her future or that of her children. Imagine being thrust into a world of single motherhood and financial instability, with the weight of grief still heavy on your shoulders. It would have been easy for her to succumb to despair, to allow the darkness to consume her. But she chose a different path. She chose resilience. Resilience is more than just the ability to bounce back from adversity. It's about transforming that adversity into a stepping stone towards a brighter future. And that's exactly what she did. She turned her pain into power, her grief into grit, her fear into fortitude. She dug deep within herself, found a reservoir of strength she never knew existed, and used it to fuel her journey towards a better life for her children. She found ways to provide for her family, to keep a roof over their heads and food on their table. She became a beacon of hope and inspiration to those around her, proving that it's not the hand you're dealt that matters, but how you play it. Every journey has a purpose, and hers was to create a better life for her children. She was a woman who had been dealt a hand that could have easily broken her spirit. The loss of her partner, the financial struggles, and the daunting task of raising 2 children on her own, these were challenges that could have consumed her. Yet she refused to let them define her life. Instead, she chose to rise above them, using them as stepping stones to build a better future for her family. Her journey was not an easy one. There were countless sleepless nights, moments of self-doubt, and times when the weight of her circumstances threatened to pull her under. But she never let these challenges deter her from her purpose. She was a mother first and foremost, and she was determined to do whatever it took to provide for her children and give them the life they deserved. She found strength in her love for her children. It was this love that fueled her determination and gave her the courage to face each day, no matter how difficult it might be. She worked tirelessly, often juggling multiple jobs, to make ends meet. Despite the exhaustion and the stress, she never let her circumstances get the best of her. She held on to her faith and her belief that she could and would create a better life for her children. And as she navigated the journey of single motherhood, she found within herself a reservoir of resilience she never knew existed. Each challenge she faced, each obstacle she overcame, only made her stronger. It was as if with every hardship, she forged a new piece of armor, equipping herself for whatever challenges lay ahead. She was not just surviving, she was thriving. She was building a life for her children that was filled with love, laughter, and opportunities. She was teaching them that even in the face of adversity, they had the power to rise above it and shape their own destiny. Through her actions, she was showing them the true meaning of resilience and determination. And so, her journey as a single mother became a testament to the power of purpose. She was not just a mother, she was a provider, a mentor, a beacon of hope. She was a woman who, despite her circumstances, refused to be defeated. She was a woman who turned her pain into power, her struggle into strength, and her fear into courage. Her story is a reminder to all of us that even when life throws us curveballs, we have the power to hit them out of the park. It's a reminder that our circumstances do not define us, but how we react to them does. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, we have the power to find the light. She turned her pain into power, her struggle into strength, and her fear into courage. A single mother with a purpose, she is a testament to the power of resilience and determination.